I'm going to be watching next week to see what is next in the Jeb Bush versus Donald Trump feud that has started to develop in the past week. There's sort of two sides to this. First, on Jeb's end, his supporters, his allies say this isn't so much about taking down Trump. It's about showing his people that he's got some fight in him. A lot of Jeb's supporters or possible supporters in the sort of Republican establishment have been concerned that he sort of doesn't seem to have the fire in the belly. And by taking it to Trump, they're hoping he can show that he has that. On Trump's end, we have seen that anybody who charges at him gets knocked down pretty quickly. He hasn't gone aggressively after Jeb so far. It'll be interesting to see how he responds. This is really the first time anyone has tried to run an actual political campaign, a conventional campaign against Trump. We'll see if it has any effect. We'll see if the Jeb Bush super PAC is willing to put some money behind that attack as well. We'll watch that, Ed.
So picking up on the coming week and Jeb Bush, 10 years ago, of course, most Americans remember Hurricane Katrina, but 2004 and 2005 were pretty record-setting and deadly years for hurricanes in Florida. Jeb Bush, of course, was governor of Florida back then. You talk to Republicans, Democrats, emergency management professionals, even taxi drivers in the state of Florida, and they'll tell you Jeb Bush was really good at dealing with hurricanes. Part of my focus this week. So he's going to be in Pensacola, Florida on Wednesday for a town hall meeting designed to sort of remind Floridians and the rest of the country that when it came to crisis, he was pretty good at that. And we can expect that he will probably be discussing a lot more of this in the next few months. Another way to draw contrast with his competitors on both sides of the aisle to sort of demonstrate that he was competent, calm, cool, and collected during a crisis.
Also, probably doesn't hurt to shore up his support back home, get home to Florida a little bit.
Absolutely.
Ashley?
So I've been fascinated by the donor panic we're seeing behind the scenes. At this point, donors had expected that, first of all, that Donald Trump would implode, and second of all, that there would be a clear frontrunner, probably Jeb Bush, and obviously that hasn't happened. So what you're seeing is you're seeing more donors sort of still staying on the sideline than was expected. You're also seeing donors kind of trying to hedge their bets, so they may have given to Jeb, but they're kind of looking, you know, if Jeb doesn't work out like we expected, you know, who should we give a second look to? Who can we also donate to? So you're seeing people give a second look to John Kasich. And the most interesting thing is you're also hearing behind the scenes calls about, well, do you think Mitt Romney would run for a third time? And to be clear, this doesn't mean that Mitt Romney is in any way thinking of that, but this is sort of where donors go when they sort of get worried about their options. They return to Mitt Romney.
Mitt Romney. Hey, it's a Massachusetts guy. Elizabeth Warren's in the news. Mitt Romney's in the news. It's a good thing, right? Steve?
I'm looking overseas, John, to a seemingly obscure development. The British reopened their embassy in Iran. It was closed years ago. They reopened it. It was attacked. They closed it again. Now they're trying again, and this time in the context of this nuclear deal with world powers. And this raises a lot of longer-term questions. For example, would the United States ever reopen an embassy in Iran? I got a chance to ask President Obama about that some months ago. He said, never say never. It doesn't sound like it's imminent at all, but this is going to be laying over the 2016 campaign, I think. Assuming the Iran deal goes forward, how does Iran behave? How does Iran behave toward outside powers? Anything that country does could become a campaign news event.
That's fascinating, Steve. Thank you. I'll close with this. Rand Paul won a big victory back home in Kentucky yesterday, allowing him to stay in the presidential race and run for re-election to his Senate seat next year. Paul got a big assist in that effort from the Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, who helped persuade state Republican leaders to change to a presidential caucus system. Had the change not been made, state law would not have allowed Paul to be on the primary ballot, both as a Senate candidate and as a presidential candidate. And given his summer struggles in the presidential race, he would have soon faced a pretty tough choice. But now he faces no such pressure. And in this crowded Republican field, even though his poll numbers are comparatively modest at the moment, his loyal support and his role in the debates still makes him an impact player.